Okay, when I say Ice Age, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For a lot of us, it's probably, a goofy cartoon mammoth and a saber-toothed squirrel, right?
Right. Those movies are definitely popular. Manny the Mammoth.
Exactly. And look, they're fun, but the real Ice Age, that's a whole different story. Forget the laughs. It was, well, brutal, bone-chillingly cold, but also utterly fascinating.
It really was. Hollywood paints a, let's say, simplified picture. The reality was far more dramatic. I mean, this was a time when humanity faced maybe its greatest challenge ever.
Yeah, pushed to the absolute limit. It's this incredible story of survival and ingenuity.
Absolutely. Resilience, community. It's kind of astounding when you dig into it.
So that's what we're doing today. This deep dive is all about life in the Ice Age. We're looking at humanity's original survival epic. And we want you, listening, to really think about what it took. Living face-to-face with mammoths in a world literally covered in ice. And not just getting by, but actually thriving.
Yeah, thriving is the right word. Let's set the scene a bit. Just try to picture it. Massive glaciers, kilometers thick, covering huge parts of Europe and North America.
Wow. Kilometers thick.
Yeah, stretching way down from the pole. And all that ice locked up so much water, the sea levels just plummeted, dropped by maybe 120 meters globally.
120 meters. That's huge.
Yeah.
That changes coastlines completely.
Totally reshapes the map. And the climate. Nights weren't just long, they felt endless, pitch black, and these relentless, bone-chilling winds constantly blowing.
Sounds pretty impossible, honestly.
It does, right?
Yeah.
But somehow, amidst all that, our ancestors didn't just hang on. They actually laid the foundations for, well, everything that came after.
Okay, that level of roughing, it's hard to even wrap my head around. My default image, I guess, is still those sort of unrefined cavemen, just brute force and survival instinct. But if they thrived, like you said, the picture must be way off. So what was the secret? What was humanity's edge in that frozen world?
Well, that's where the popular image really misses the mark. You see, surviving that kind of environment, physical strength alone just wouldn't cut it. It wasn't enough.
Right.
The successful Ice Age human wasn't just strong. They were smart. They were strategists. They were amazing team players.
Okay.
This whole period really shows that our best tools were always, collective thinking, resourcefulness, cooperation.
Yeah.
Not just muscles. It was brain over brawn, fundamental.
That completely flips the script.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's break down the essentials.
Yeah.
Shelter, for starters. In those conditions, shelter isn't just nice to have, it's life or death, right? Like immediately.
Oh, absolutely. Priority number one, no question. A single night out in the open could easily be fatal. So caves, naturally, were like finding gold.
Oh, okay. Natural protection.
Exactly. Instant protection from those freezing winds and, crucially, from predators, too. Cave bears, lions. A solid rock wall is pretty good security.
Makes sense. But caves aren't everywhere. What did they do when there wasn't a handy cave nearby? They couldn't just, pitch a modern tent.
No, definitely not. And this is where their, let's call it engineering brilliance, really comes in. When there were no caves, they literally built shelters. And get this, often using the bones of the megafauna they hunted.
Wait, houses made of mammoth bones?
Yep, picture it. Using the massive skeleton of a mammoth as the main framework. These huge ribs and tusks forming the structure.
Right.
And then stretching animal hides tightly over that frame. It created a surprisingly solid structure and remarkably well insulated, too, against wind, snow, everything. Early architecture, really.
That is incredible. Like a whole village potentially made from mammoth skeletons. Amazing.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of mammoths, how on earth did a group of humans actually hunt something that enormous? That sounds terrifyingly dangerous.
Oh, it was incredibly dangerous. Trying to take down a mammoth solo, that's just suicide, plain and simple.
Right.
So this is where that group hunting becomes absolutely essential. It wasn't just about running at it with spears. It was highly organized. The intricate planning, clear communication, everyone knowing their specific role, like a well-rehearsed team. So like a coordinated strategy.
Exactly, using traps, guiding the animals, using spears, and maybe even arrows effectively. It was a high-stakes operation every single time. And it wasn't just mammoths either. Their menu included woolly rhinos, giant deer, even those fearsome cave bears sometimes.
A challenging grocery list, to say the least. So it sounds less like a desperate scramble and more like skilled professionals almost.
In a way, yes. Highly skilled, deeply knowledgeable about animal behavior. It had to be organized. Now, what about their diet overall? My assumption, like many people's, is probably just meat. All carnivore. Is that accurate?
Yeah, picture them just gnawing on mammoth steaks constantly.
Well, meat was obviously hugely important. Calories, fat, protein, essential in that cold. But it's definitely a misconception that they only ate meat. Plant sources were critical too.
Oh, okay. Like what kinds of plants?
Edible roots they could dig up, various herbs, seasonal fruits and berries when available. It provided essential vitamins and nutrients you don't get just from meat. It balanced their diet.
But how did they know what was safe? I mean, one wrong root or berry.
That's a crucial point. Identifying edible versus poisonous plants was vital life-saving knowledge. And this wasn't written down, obviously. It was cultural knowledge passed meticulously from generation to generation, a kind of ancestral science.
Wow. That's a whole skill set we don't even think about.
Absolutely.
Huh?
Just as important as hunting. And then there's fire, maybe the most fundamental element of all.
Fire. Yeah, I can only imagine how vital that must have been. But how did they even make it consistently? No matches, no lighters.
Pure ingenuity again. Foundational engineering, you could say. They mastered techniques like striking specific stones together, flint and pyrite, for example, to create sparks.
Right.
Or the friction method, rapidly rubbing dry sticks together to generate enough heat to ignite tinder. These weren't just tricks, they were essential life-sustaining technologies.
And fire was way more than just warmth, I assume.
Oh, absolutely. It was the heart of everything. Yes, warmth, crucial in that climate.
Yeah.
But also cooking food, making it safer to eat, easier to digest, unlocking more nutrients.
Okay.
It was also protection. A flickering fire keeps predators away during those long, dark nights. But maybe most importantly, fire was the community center.
Ah, the social hub.
Exactly. In the evenings, everyone would gather around the fire. That's where stories were told, the day's events discussed, knowledge passed on. It's where they made tools, repaired clothing, connected. And all that immense cold, those moments around the fire, sharing and just being together. That must have been the warmest part of their lives, in more ways than one. It was the spark of culture, literally.
Just picturing that, it sounds almost, I don't know, cozy. Despite the glaciers outside, it really highlights that this wasn't just a physical fight. It was a psychological one, too. Loneliness, fear, uncertainty. They needed each other for more than just bringing down a mammoth.
Absolutely right. Coping with the mental and emotional strain, that connection was vital. And this leads us to something really profound that they left behind. Their art. Think about the cave paintings. Lascaux, Altamira, these incredible sites.
Oh yeah, stunning images.
Yeah.
Or were they just pretty pictures or something more?
Much, much more. They weren't just decoration. They were likely a powerful form of communication.
Yeah.
Maybe teaching hunting techniques, maybe part of religious rituals or shamanic practices.
Wow.
Some theories even suggest it was a way to sort of externalize their fears or maybe manifest success in the hunt by painting it on the cave wall. Casting fears out, you could say.
So the paintings actually tell us things
Yeah,
about how they saw the world.
definitely. They show us their world through their eyes. The animals they depended on, treated with such detail and maybe respect. They hint at the dangers they faced, perhaps their beliefs about the spirit world. Each painting is like a message across millennia. It shows this deep human need to create meaning, to express themselves, to build a culture, even when just surviving day to day was incredibly hard. It wasn't just about staying alive, it was about living.
That's amazing. To create something lasting like that under those conditions, it speaks volumes.
It truly demonstrates that capacity to, transcend mere existence, to weave a cultural identity. They were complex people, not simple boots.
Okay, something else I've wondered about their life. Were they settled in one place, in these mammoth bone houses or caves?
Yeah.
Or were they always on the move?
That's a great question. And the answer is mostly they moved. A lot. They were largely nomadic or semi-nomadic.
Following the food?
Exactly. It wasn't random wandering, though. It was a calculated strategy. They needed an incredibly deep understanding of the natural world. The migration patterns of mammoth herds, the seasonal movements of reindeer or deer where certain plants would be available at different times of year. This intimate knowledge of nature's rhythms was absolutely key.
Like a living calendar and map in their heads.
Precisely. And this constant movement, this drive, it led to some truly epic journeys, like the one across the Bering Land Bridge.
Yes, from Siberia to North America.
Indeed. When sea levels were low, that land bridge emerged, connecting the continents. And humans crossed it. Following game, yes, but maybe also driven by that inherent human curiosity, that urge to see what's over the next hill. It's one of history's great migrations.
Driven by exploration, even in that world, it's hard to fathom. Okay, let's circle back to tools and technology. We think Stone Age, maybe crude rocks, but you mentioned engineering. Were their tools actually quite sophisticated?
Oh,
inherent
absolutely.
human
Forget the image of
curiosity.
just bashing rocks together randomly.
The
The
need
level
to
of
see
skill
what's
was
over the
incredible. They
next
produced
hill.
highly effective, specialized tools from stone, bone, antler, ivory.
Like what kind of tools?
Sharp stone flakes for knives and scrapers, meticulously crafted spearheads, harpoon points, needles made from bone with tiny eyes drilled into them, even fish hooks. These required skill, planning, and a deep understanding of the materials.
Needles. You mentioned needles. That implies sewing. And clothing must have been critical. Not just draping a skin over yourself, I guess.
Not even close. Those winds, that cold, you needed tailored clothing. Those bone needles were used to sew hides together, probably using sinuous thread. Imagine a coat, trousers, boots, maybe even mittens, made from layers of animal hides, possibly with fur left on for insulation.
Wow.
The stitching had to be tight and strong to keep out the cold, the wind, the wet. These weren't fashion statements, they were essential pieces of survival gear. Truly, engineering marvels in their own right. Survival depended on staying warm and dry.
Absolutely vital. Okay, so this whole incredible, challenging era, how did it eventually end? Did the ice just melt away?
Gradually, yes. The Ice Age started to wane around 11,700 years ago. The climate slowly but surely warmed up. Those massive glaciers began to melt, pouring water back into the oceans, causing sea levels to rise again. The world started to look more like the one we know.
And what did that mean for the animals, the mammoths, the rhinos?
Well, for many of the megafauna, it wasn't good news. The changing climate altered their habitats, their food sources disappeared or shifted. And on top of that, humans had become very effective hunters. That combination, it led to the extinction of many iconic Ice Age species.
A huge loss. But humans adapted again.
Humans adapted. That seems to be our defining characteristic, doesn't it? As the climate changed and the megafauna disappeared, the hunter-gatherer lifestyle started to shift. People began experimenting with managing plants, then cultivating them. Agriculture slowly emerged.
The beginnings of farming.
Exactly. And with farming came settlement. People started staying in one place, founding the first villages, then towns. It was a monumental shift, the foundation for, well, everything that followed, the Neolithic Revolution.
So in a weird way, surviving the Ice Age, learning all those skills, that's what made the next chapter possible. It wasn't just a hard time they got through. It actually built something fundamental.
I think that's exactly right. Look at the big picture. The knowledge gained, the skills honed during the Ice Age, cooperation on a large scale, complex tool-making, incredible environmental adaptation. These weren't lost. They formed the bedrock for future human development, for civilization itself.
Wow.
We literally built on the foundations they laid down in the harshest of conditions.
It really changes how you think about them. We often have this image, like I said, the rough caveman. But everything you've described, it's intelligence, community, engineering, art, resilience.
They were far from rough or unrefined. They were masters of survival, pioneers, innovators, their ingenuity, their social bonds, their sheer ability to adapt. That's what paved the way.
It's kind of humbling, actually.
It is, and it makes you wonder, doesn't it, how much of our own resilience today, our ability to innovate, to connect, how much of that is an echo of the challenges faced and overcome by our Ice Age ancestors? It's because of them, because of their incredible journey, that we can sit here now in our warm homes and even talk about it.
That's a powerful thought to end on. This deep dive has definitely reshaped my view of the Ice Age. An amazing story of human perseverance.
Thanks for exploring it with me. It's a reminder that human history is full of these extraordinary stories, often hidden beneath the surface, of people achieving incredible things against all odds. Their legacy is still with us,